I will say this. Part of me thinks Minnesota. They always say styles make fights. Like I've gone to a lot of boxing matches and I have to watch 2 rounds to get really comfortable. I'm not sure. I don't have strong senses on the series. I like the experience of Minnesota and the coaching staff. I think Oklahoma City should win, but I'm not sure. And I think Indiana is better than the Knicks. I just think they have more depth. I think they again I think let's talk about that. I think Indiana and Carlisle has more lineups to throw at you. He's got a little more dexterity. That's my interpretation. You.
Yeah, they have like six different dudes that could go for 20 plus points on any given night. And they play with such pace and they play with such energy. The reason why I like the matchup with the Pacers versus the Knicks, the Pacers don't have a single player in this postseason, Colin, that's averaging over 35 minutes per game. On the Knicks, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are both averaging over 40, and all
Yeah.
five starters are over 35 minutes per game. They
Yeah,
lean
yeah.
on a whole lot of the heavy minutes for their core five guys. What the Pacers do, as you've seen so many times already in this postseason, is you got them. You're up 13, you're up 14, and you feel like you're in good shape. But the problem is like they make one layup and then they pick you up full court again. And then they do it again and they do it again. And every time you turn it over, they run it down your throat again. And they play with so much pace and so much energy. And they literally never let go of the rope. In the Knicks, as we've seen a ton of times in the Pistons series and even in the Celtics series, they can have really sloppy nights where they get
Yeah.
undisciplined. And I think they'll pay the price against Indiana in this matchup with that. Also, like to your point, I think the Pacers are just playing really good basketball right now. They're peaking at the tail end of the season. They've been playing like this for the last couple months, really. They've been really cooking at this level. Tyrese Haliburton is playing every bit as well as Jalen Brunson, just in a different way because he's more of like a
Right.
Steve Nash than he is a legit on-ball scoring guard. Siakam is has a lot of similarities to OG Anunoby. Aaron Neesmith is literally averaging 15 points a game in this postseason, and he's knocking every three down off the. He's shooting over 50% on open threes in this postseason run. Andrew Nemhard is just a playoff gamer who can do a little bit of everything. Miles Turner is shooting like 45% on threes in this postseason. Like they are just everyone's playing super well. They go like 8-9 deep. They never stop coming at you. I have a feeling this is the last thing I'll say about it. It kind of reminds me, Colin, of the Golden State Warriors back in the day, where they play such a unique style that there's like this shock and awe phase at the beginning of each series where it's like you're used to playing a certain type of team, and then all of a sudden here come the Warriors and they're running Steph and Clay through a million screens, and it's just bizarre. And they catch you off guard and they go up 2-0 in the series, and all of a sudden you're fighting upstream. The Pacers jumped the Cavs in game one. And that was, I know Garland didn't play. That's a good Cavs team that was at home. They got punched in the mouth by the Pacers because they were not ready for the way they play. And
Right.
the same thing happened to the Bucks in the first round. So like I look at it as a kind of series where Indiana probably steals game one, and then New York is fighting upstream against a deeper team that never stops playing hard, that never plays their main guys big minutes. And I just think it's going to be too much for them to overcome. I do think the Knicks have a chance, but I would make
Yeah.
the Pacers a decent favorite.
Well, I think my take is if the games are close late, I love New York's shot making ability. I think they're really
Mhm.
good. I think they're very physical. They're well coached. They make shots. They're totally unselfish, but it's Brunson's team. I think if you told me there were three 12-point games in the series, I'd take Indiana. Indiana can
Yeah.
wear you out.
Mhm.
But I think those, I think my, of the entire playoffs, if I had one kind of wow. It was Jalen Brunson and the Knicks shot making in multiple games against the Celtics, a good defensive team. Like, wow. And it really, Jason, it really made me look at the Knicks differently from through a different prism. I really felt all year, go get Giannis, go get Durant. You need a big piece. And I'm like, no, not really. I think you need a piece. I don't think it's a huge piece. I thought Bridges, oh geez, just big and physical. And again, the league now has said we're going to let guys like the league's stylistically is playing right into what the Knicks do. I think they need. I think they need. Cat doesn't defend. Mitchell Robinson you don't trust offensively. I feel like if you could morph and you could get, listen, didn't
It
we
was
talk about
Isaiah
this last time?
Hartenstein, Colin. It was Isaiah
That's right.
Hartenstein.
That's
Like
right.
they
That's
should
right.
have just made some sort of salary dumping trade with Julius if that's what they were
Yep.
going to do and just picked up Hartenstein
Yep.
because he would literally be perfect as
Perfect.
the two-way
Perfect.
fulcrum for this team. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he is. That's exactly right. But I don't look at the Knicks as needing a big swing. And a credit to the front office, the executive suite, which was impatient for years. The Knicks have made, like Mikal Bridges, I like the move. And then halfway through the season, I'm like, that's a lot of firsts for Mikal Bridges. And then you watch in the playoffs, you're like, oh shit, no, this works. He's
Yeah.
a really, really good player. And he fits their culture. So
Yeah, the Knicks, it came together in the right way for them late in the season. It started with a couple of different things, and mostly it comes down to me, the conversation we were having earlier, which is all season long when I watch the Knicks, I'm like, why are they bad on defense? They've got
that's right. That's
they've got
right.
three really good defenders on the floor all season. By the way, like Mikal Bridges wasn't very good on defense this season. Brunson and Cat were abysmal most of the season on defense. In this postseason, Mikal has turned into one of the better point of attack guys in the league. OG Anunoby's literally been flying around like prime Kawhi making plays. And Jalen Brunson, outside of game 5 against Boston, has been very good defensively in this playoff run. And so what's happening is they're leveraging a higher level out of themselves defensively. And they've been a great offense all year long. And so it's really coming together in that way. I just worry. To me, I just think the Pacers are a little bit better. I just think they're a little bit better on defense. They have a better rim protector. They're a little bit better on offense. They're a little bit deeper. That to me is what it comes
Well,
down to.
sorry to interrupt this great video, but please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Now back to the video. Well, think about this. That's why the T-Wolves beat the Lakers. And I mean, that's really it. That's why the T-Wolves beat the Warriors. I mean, if you say, well, they're deeper, that's why OKC beat Denver. I mean, the depth thing, when you allow this level of physicality, it wears players out even more. And I think you're seeing that depth really, in my entire life, there was always two things that were true about the playoffs. It was more physical and depth was overrated. You play 8, you trust 7, and it's like, oh no, it's more physical and depth has been huge. I don't remember a year. Well, we all know veterans tend to beat kids. That's kind of a given. But I don't remember a year to me where it was like one of the first punches is, well, they have more levers. And I think Indiana and OKC probably should win the series because of that. I mean, when Denver won the title, we didn't think. I mean, they had KCP or a Bruce Brown. We didn't think depth, right? Jokic at the time was a poor defender. We just thought, listen, they have the best player. They were hitting on all cylinders. They had enough good guys off the bench. Depth matters, and I don't remember it ever in my life being this big of a factor in the playoffs. Maybe I'm
I think the
wrong.
I think the physicality plays a big role. I think you're right. I think that the depth is giving you the ability to withstand physicality. I mean,
Right.
ultimately, like Denver blew this series in game 4 and game 5 when they had fourth quarter leads and all their stars looked exhausted down the stretch while the Thunder stars
Yeah.
looked fresh and they were able to make plays. The younger, more athletic, deeper team just came on strong late in the game. I think the second thing that the physicality has done, which has actually been pretty interesting, is do you remember, Colin, over the previous few years, how we just had so many blowouts where like it just felt
Yes.
like teams would go back and forth, like blowing each
Yes.
other out. And I think one of the things that the increased physicality has done is it's made it really difficult to shoot threes because everyone's legs are cooked. And like even in
Yes.
this game 7, you see like no one's stepping, like there's a whole lot of games where teams are shooting 20% from 3 and it's just a bloodbath. And I think that's dragging the games down into like everything's
Yep.
finishing. Every you're looking at the clock and it's 93 to 93 with 8 minutes left. And it's causing for a lot of great games.
This is a great point because and I think you're right on because I was talking about this the other day as we were preparing for a show. I'm like, man, just there's a lot of bad 3-point shooting nights, and I couldn't quite pinpoint it. But I think when you get into tush push basketball and it's just leaning on each other, teams are tired and it brings the offense down. And I think that's a great point. In fact, what it also creates is when you're not hitting threes, you tend to you realize it. The coaching staff knows it. Longer the series goes, you start shooting fewer. One of the things I never liked about 3-point shots is it's not you can box out all you want. The rebounds are long and weird, and you can't. And so you can have great position, but when you're playing a more physical game inside the arc, you run like traditional fast breaks. You get, a 4-foot carom. You get it, the outlet. So the aesthetic of the fast break, like OKC did it about 6, 7 times over a 5-minute stretch. Oh, it looked like old playoff. It looked like old college, high school, old 70s NBA fast break. Here's the point guard. Two guys in the wings fill in. A guy's backpedaling, finish with dunks. 3-point shooting so weird. To me, I don't like the idea of you miss and a ball caroms 20 feet out to the corner. It stops play. You come back up. I think I really do. This is a cliche, but it's giving me a little bit of a college feel and a little bit of an old NBA feel. And I've said this for years. I like the layered basketball more than 3-point shooting basketball. And I think your point's great, is that the more, the unintended benefit. I don't know if they thought about this, but the more physicality, the lousier 3-point shooting, and the less you scheme up 3-point shooting. You're scheming up baskets. It feels like to me.
No, absolutely. I think in general, it's a better version of what old basketball looked like. It's physical, it's ugly, but you have the impressive skill level that we have in the modern NBA. And so it's kind of given us the best of both worlds. But I'm super excited for OKC Minnesota. I'm with you in the sense that I have almost no feel for it, because Minnesota was a team that was much better than their regular season looked. If you talk to any Timberwolves fan all season, they were like, we just weren't playing as hard on defense as we did last year. Minnesota has some more veteran guys than you'd think. Like Julius is a vet. Rudy Gobert's a vet. Mike Conley's a vet. Like they've got some guys that have been around for a little while, and so they just kind of took it easy through the season. Oklahoma City, everybody not named Caruso in their rotation is 26 or younger. They've just been going crazy all 82 games, and so they're two teams that I think OKC's probably not as good as they looked in the season. Minnesota's better than they looked in the regular season. Two great defenses, both anchored by both rim protection with Chet and Rudy Gobert, and two big looks with Naz Reid as well as Isaiah Hartenstein. Elite on-ball guard with size that can shoot over the top. Like Ant and Shai, just which one of them makes more jumpers over the top? Huge part of this series. Because guess what? There's not going to be a lot at the rim for either team in the series. Role player shooting. We just watched Lou Dort and Kason Wallace and now Caruso take a bunch of threes. It's going to be Jaden McDaniels. It's going to be Julius Randle, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dante DiVincenzo. I do think there's a real veteran experience advantage for Minnesota.
Yes.
But Oklahoma City also has home court advantage, and they're probably just a little bit deeper, a little bit faster. So that's going to be a fun one, Colin. And what a if we had to have the new guard for a playoff final four, these are pretty interesting series. The Knicks and Pacers kind of hate each other. They've played each other in the playoffs before. Shai versus Ant is literally the battle of the two best guards in the league right now. I think this is going to be an entertaining quarter or semifinal.
All right, Jason Timpf, hoops tonight. A little shorter version as we get ready for the conference finals. I'm just going to watch I'm going to take Indiana and OKC just because of depth and the coaching options. I don't feel great conviction. I think this is Ant's moment. Ant's knocked a lot of good guys out of the playoffs. I mean, you start looking the last 2 years, Ant has knocked a lot of legends out of the playoffs. But it's not just an SGA thing. When you're watching them annihilate Denver in transition and in the paint, I'm like, Jesus, it's a 10 rotation. That's just unheard of.
I think I lean slightly towards Minnesota right now. I think the thing I keep coming down to is J-Dub. And again, I'm going to watch a bunch of film and I'll make my pick when I do my series preview tomorrow morning. But J-Dub was super inconsistent in this series. Julius Randle's been fantastic in this postseason run. I think I trust Naz Reid more to score the ball than Chet in terms of over the top shooting and stuff. I think I trust Minnesota's experience. I'm leaning just slightly that way at this point in time.
Yeah, Randall's been a revelation, and
Mhm.
I think it was funny. I talked to Chris Finch off the air about him. I said, "Well, what do you make of this?" He's like, "He'll get there. He's not there yet." This was like 3 months ago. He's like, "He's gonna get there," but we're asking him to do other stuff. He's become a much better distributor. I mean, his assist numbers are up, so it's like,
Mhm.
and he's hitting 3-point shots. So, yeah, it's funny too, Knicks. The shot making of Jalen Brunson and really a revelation in Julius Randle are my two sort of wow. I
Yeah.
can remember when Julius Randle was a Laker, it was becoming a three-ball league. And I can remember going to a Laker game saying, God, this guy's just a bit, he's a house. Like this guy is his body's like a 38-year-old man. And thinking to myself, and I remember the Lakers were cool on him because he didn't shoot threes. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm getting like 18 and 8. He defends. He's always got a smile on his face. Like, I'm like, God, if he's not an NBA player, like what is the league? Remember when they said Zach Edey wouldn't fit? And you're like, no,
Yeah.
no, Zach Edey's fine in the NBA. Like I remember going to a Laker game, watching him and thinking, dude, he's just really his energy is great. You know what I mean? Just like he wasn't a pretty player. He was really old school. So I always love when a guy's coachable and coaches coach hard. I think
Mhm.
Minnesota's done that with a couple of players. Like they coach hard and the players are like they digest it, they consume it, and it's I don't know. I think that when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving said we don't need a coach, I'm like, guys, really, come on, give me a break. Like the great players all want great coaching. Come on.
Yeah, the Julius Randle piece too. He's just so physically imposing. Like he's a much better athlete than he gets credit for. I mean, I know LeBron was 40, but he kind of kicked LeBron's butt athletically in that series a few times. And like he ultimately that's to me what makes him a good playoff player. I thought his playoff struggles originally were a little overblown because he was just injured. He was like either playing through an injury or had just returned from an injury and was clearly out of rhythm. He had a long runway this year and was playing great right when he was playing great when he got to the postseason. And he's a decent passer who legitimately can battle for position and make little short jump shots in the lane. That is going to help an NBA team in the playoffs. Like like he has a skill set that's kind of built for this environment. And I actually think he's defended really well in this postseason. And the one guy that I was really worried about him defensively was Steph Curry, and he got out of that matchup because of an injury. So it worked out pretty fine for him.
First time in NBA history, we will have seven different champions in a 7-year stretch. And I'm here for it. Jason Timpf, Hoops Tonight, as always. Thanks, buddy.
Good to see you, Colin. See you next week.